Now that we've seen how to process all of our RAW files using Camera Raw 4, let's take a look at how to process non-RAW files by using Camera Raw. That's right, now in Adobe's Camera Raw, you have the ability to edit JPEG and TIFF files using the exact same controls here inside of Camera Raw. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to get out of Camera Raw here, and I'm going to escape out. I'm going to say cancel all of these changes because I really don't want to make any of those changes right now. And I'm going to come back into Camera Raw and I'm going to select to see the JPEG images here. So here's my JPEG image that I want to edit in Camera Raw. And you'll notice that if I control click on this or on PC right click, choose open with, it automatically defaults to Adobe Photoshop CS3. Well, I don't want to open it in Photoshop CS3. I want to open it in Camera Raw. So how do you do that? Well, it's very, very simple. Hit Control R on the PC, Command R on the Mac, and you will automatically launch Camera Raw from within the Adobe Bridge, and you'll automatically get to edit this JPEG file here inside of Camera Raw. Now, there's a couple of things that you'll notice when working with JPEG and TIFF files here inside of Camera Raw, and that's the fact that your white balance values are automatically set to 0, as well as your tint values. This is simply because this is not anymore a relative value, this is an absolute value. So it no longer depends on what type of day you shot your image on or what the temperature of the light was or anything like that, because this is not camera data. These are actual pixels. However, you can still control the temperature and tint the exact same way you would any other Camera Raw file. So for instance, if I want to warm this photograph up, I'll just take this slider and move it to the right. And there you see I have the ability to warm that file up. If I need to increase the magenta values of the tint, I can go ahead and do that as well. I can also increase or decrease exposure, even though exposure is automatically set to that 0. I can increase exposure this way, and it's going to bring out a lot more of those highlighted regions there. I can also decrease the exposure the same way, darkening it up. I'm going to reset that to 0 for now. Now let's say that, for instance, I wanted to bring back some of those highlighted regions that I've blown out when doing the exposure here. So let's just overexpose this a little bit too much here. You'll notice here that even the recovery slider works the same way it does in a normal Camera Raw file. So to have this ability to edit your JPEG and TIFF files in this manner inside of Camera Raw is absolutely amazing and an unbelievable way to edit these photographs non-destructively. Remember, all of this is stored parametrically within the file, so no matter what you do to this, you're not actually destroying or changing any pixel values. So once you're finished with this, if you wanted to, say, open it up in Photoshop, let's go ahead and do that right now. But I'm going to do something that's kind of a little trick here. I'm going to open this up as a smart object inside of Photoshop. I'm going to do that by holding down the Shift key and choose Open Object. And when I do that, it's going to go ahead and it's going to launch Photoshop, and it's going to open this object inside of Photoshop. Here, I'm going to jump into the Maximize Screen mode, and I did that by hitting the F key on my keyboard. You'll notice that it has this nice little icon in the bottom that denotes that it is a smart object. And the great part about this is I have the ability to double click on this. It's going to go ahead and launch the Camera Raw dialog box, and when I do that, you're going to see here that it automatically lets me edit this photograph in Camera Raw at any time. So I can go ahead, I can decrease the exposure. Let's go ahead and take that back down to the original value like so, and I'll also go ahead and I'll turn down the recovery slider a little bit. And we can do any number of things that we need to do to make edits to this file. And when we click OK, it automatically updates those inside of Photoshop, and it's just an unbelievable way to edit files. I don't know that anybody really understands. For those of us who have been using Photoshop for years, we've been waiting for a way to edit JPEG and TIFF files in this manner, and it's just an absolute joy to have this ability inside of Photoshop and Camera Raw. So now I'm going to go back, and I'm going to close this image up. I'm going to choose not to save it. Then I'm going to go back into Bridge and just show you here that this is indeed now a file that will always be edited by Camera Raw, simply denoted by this little circle right here that denotes that there's Camera Raw edits applied to this file. Now when you open this up, it's automatically going to launch Camera Raw here, and when it does that, you're going to be able to make those edits, do any type of changes you might need to do, and then you'll be able to save that image and store all of those edits parametrically within the file, being totally non-destructive with every single thing that you do.